Good day everyone. This is the research study of Group 2 Grade 11 Humss discipline entitled Teaching Experiences of Grade 1 Teachers in Modular Distance Learning. We are the senior high school students of Sorsogon National High School.
Camila Rosdivina Ebio,
Maria Micaela Baldonado Rosero,
Angeline Limena Lodit,
Angelo de Choso Isquerido,
Ken Harbin Bercasio Sicad,
Joyren Capitita,
and we are the researchers.
headed by our subject teacher in Practical Research 1, Evelyn E. Melia.
The local of the study is in Sorsogon Pilot Elementary School, wherein grade 1 teachers are teaching. The research is conducted a face-to-face interview through use of audio recording. The participants are the grade 1 teachers of school year 2020 to 2021.
The spread of COVID-19 has brought a rapid change in the country, not only in its economic stability, but also in the education system. Schools have been promptly locked for personal engagement, agreement, and students' curricular activities following the order of President Rodrigo Duterte, approved the recommendation of the Interagency Task Force for Emerging Infectious Diseases or IATF-EID for class suspension, face-to-face to all levels in adherence to the advisory of Department of Health that Philippines be put under enhanced community quarantine. With that, the Department of Education then had to shift and craft realistic learning platform without compromising its objective to deliver a continuous and quality learning among its students and yet promoting health awareness. Due to the health threat of the pandemic, the DepEd transferred to a new normal education in which they decided to bring education to the comfort of both students and teachers, continue their teaching and learning. They also developed learning modalities to continue the education. Moreover, this caused unexpected challenges and adjustments among students and teachers. Elementary pupils as well as teachers are the ones who are affected by this pandemic. One of the essential learning modality is the modular distance learning, in which it is a printed modules that the students use in learning from distance. Teachers and students are adjusting to the distant result of education in modality of modular distance learning to continue the education progress within pupils, while also addressing the uncertainties as well as apprehensions of this pandemic. Lastly, homeschooling is an alternative delivery mode that seeks to provide students with basic education in their homes with the aid of parents, guardians, or tutor.
The questions to be answered in our study are the following. What are the difficulties and adjustments faced by grade 1 teachers in this modular distance learning? What are the teaching experiences of grade 1 teachers in modular distance learning? How do grade 1 teachers manage with their challenges and adjustments?
Theoretical framework. Marco 2017 established the teacher have the crucial role to play in launching learners into self-access and in lending them regular helping hand. Learners' autonomy is best realized when the instructor serves as a learning facilitator, counselor, and resource. Teacher became enthusiastic as well. Teachers that use modules can respond to different pupils working on different assignments because kids have varying learning capacity. Monitoring the activities of pupil can become more meaningful, especially for children that require more direction and attention. Teachers are dealing with the growing proportion of pupils who struggle with the basic writing abilities as well as composition. However, many teachers believe they are ill-equipped to deal with this opposing pressure because they lack the necessary pedagogical skills. In correlation to our study, grade 1 teachers are given to face challenges in the implementation of modular distance learning. Modular distance learning is one of the educational trends brought about by the pandemic, with the use of this model learning and delivery has put teaching and learning into adjustment period. Panganiban 2021 stated that self-learning modules and other resources such as learners' materials, textbooks, activity sheets, study guides, and other materials are used.
Methodology, research design. Phenomenology is a qualitative research method that is used to describe how human beings experience a certain phenomenon. It allows the researcher to delve into perception, perspective, understanding, and feelings of those people who have actually experienced or lived the phenomenon or situation of interest. It was mentioned in the study of Georgie 2029, as cited by Espinelli 2021, that phenomenological research culminates in the essence of experiences for several individuals who have all experienced the phenomenon. Research instrument. In this study, the researcher used semi-structured interview. Semi-structured interview is a type of interview in which the interviewer will prepare only the list of general topics to be addressed. This leads with open-ended questions, which are the questions that can be answered with yes or no. And the interviewer will ask follow-up questions to the participants. This interviewer allowing the participants to share their experiences and thoughts. Purposive sampling, a selective study and all applicable sampling for the teaching experiences of grade 1 teachers. It selects an individual whom are involved in the study. Data collection is a process of gathering and measuring information on variables of interest. An established systematic function that enables one to answer stated research questions and evaluate outcomes. It is suited for the study that we have conducted some research questions and one-on-one interview. The researchers take down notes and ask for permission to the participants to record the response to the given question. This information collected is used and determined by the methodology and analytical approach applied by the researchers. Data analysis. In order for us to gather information regarding our topic, we interview 7 grade 1 teachers as respondents to our research study. We ask them to state their life experiences as teachers.
Results and discussions. In the semi-structured interview that we conducted, different perspectives, stories, and experiences of grade 1 teachers in this modality of modular distance learning are shown.
Challenges of teachers in the modular distance learning. Adjustments. Some of the participants said that the distribution of modules on parents are one of their problems. They must set schedule and give consideration as they observe their pupil in accomplishing the activities. Because of the sudden change of modality from traditional face-to-face classes to modular distance means of learning, certain adjustments are required for the pupils to cope up with the new normal education. Difficulties. In this time of pandemic, some of the teachers are assessing the cargo of this pandemic, adopting the modern style of teaching where most of their time are spent checking and finishing their pupils' modules. Together with the use of the new technology that is quite a big adjustment for them, considering their age, capabilities, and skills to use the modernized devices.
Teaching experiences of grade 1 teachers in modular distance learning. Academic. Majority of our participants tells that modular distance learning gives challenges to the grade 1 teachers when it comes to the reading and writing skills of the pupils. According to them, pupils are having a hard time understanding their modules because of the language barrier. There's languages in the modules that pupils aren't familiar with, and it's a big challenge for them to understand the instructions and lessons if at the first place they are still on the process of reading and writing. Mental health and health safety. During the new normal education, most of our participants experience anxiety and depression that affects their mental health and teaching performance. They said that there's a lot of things to do in this new normal such as lesson plan, assorting modules and other teaching works that sometimes they don't know how to deal with it and finish it. They mentioned about the cases of teachers and students that emerged in this new normal modality of modular distance learning who committed suicide because of depression. Their health is also affected by this modular distance learning because their job and responsibilities as a teachers is very risky. They have to go to schools to meet other people and parents to give and provide modules to their pupils. Tardiness. Some of the participants was about to become senior citizen, ages 58 to 59. They stated that they easily got tired in the school works such as checking, assorting, and making modules to their pupils. Furthermore, not having enough knowledge in using devices like laptop and smartphones make their performance difficult. They face a lot of adjustments in this new normal considering their age and their health.
Teachers face in managing their challenges and adjustments. Adapting the situation. Specifically, teachers tend to adopt its environment despite the situation given. However, the choices given weren't as many as they can choose with. Embracing and adapting the new normal is the only way to go with the flow with this new way of living in education. Learning strategies. A learning strategies is one of the way of an individual or teachers to practice a productive teaching to be acquired in pupils. One of their ways to improve their method is to do the pabasa. They are striving and trying to do home visitation for their pupils. Following up with the parents. It is important to keep up with the involvement of the parents in their child's academic performance in such a way that they can keep an eye off towards their children. Based on the findings from data that have gathered, the following were drawn. As expected, the challenges of teachers emerge as a main theme across all 7 interviews. All of the participants experience a lot of challenges as they adjust in this new normal education. The challenges or difficulties they face that affects their teachings are printing, checking, assorting, modules, slow internet connection, time management, and lack of materials like laptops, printers, and etc. Given the circumstances, some of the participants is getting adversity to do such thing. It is hard for them to do the task consecutively because of their age. Having slow internet connectivity and having no machinery in teachings is one of the factors that affects the way of teaching of the teachers in this modular distance learning. Because of slow internet connection, it's hard for them to access the parents of their pupils, and it is hard for them to guide the parents on what will they do to teach their children, since parents and teachers switch position or responsibilities where parents are the teachers at home. Managing their time is also a difficulty for them. They often stump up their time for their works to be done. Environmental distraction is also a burden to them. It prevents someone from giving full attention towards working hours. In addition, this new normal way of education is having a big impact in an individual. Some are suffering from depression and anxiety due to the fact of experiencing such thing. Teachers believes that modular distance learning is ineffective, and this increased the learning gaps within the pupils. It is very evident as they encounter modules answered not by the students but by the parents. Teachers are eager to have face-to-face classes because they think that face-to-face is more effective than modular distance learning.
Comparisons with the previous research. Our findings had proven the study of the following. Panganiban 2021, which states that English is the primary medium of instructions in education and most of modules written in the given language posing additional challenges and demands to school learners. Our participants encounter a lot of answer sheets answered not by the students but by their parents. And the main reason why is because the students doesn't understand their modules, since some of them doesn't still know how to read and write and not familiar with the language used in the modules. A lot of the modules were written in English, so how will the pupils answer the modules if they don't understand it at the first place? Reading and writing is important in grade 1 and it should have taught by their teachers at school, but because of this pandemic, it's a challenge for them to teach their pupils and make sure that pupils are learning. Trisha de Alagdon 2021, which states that Modular learning is the current learning modality of primary education in the Philippines, where traditional teacher-student practice has now been shifted in the mother-child, since mothers are the immediate assistants of their child in modular distance learning. Therefore, they play essential parts on their child's education. K. Yulano Gavan 2021, which states that the Department of Education adopted one or combination of the different learning modalities so Filipino students can continue learning depending on the restrictions in their communities. This is also a big consideration for the health and safety of both the learners and teachers. Also, the GLOS Go City Region Education 2020, which states that internet connection and digital access are critical requirements in order to have a smooth remote learning at the teachers must be practical in reaching students who are deprived of digital access. And lastly, our study had proven the study or the literature of Alipiu 2020, which states that teachers are full of spirit in imparting alternative resources to deliver better quality of learning to students. Conclusion. Based on the result of the study, the conclusions of the researchers are follows. Grade 1 teachers believes that modular distance learning is ineffective. It's a challenge for them to teach in this modality without a physical contact. They don't have an assurance that the pupils are learning in this modality since they are not there to guide their pupils. With the difficulties they experience in this modality, they conclude that face-to-face classes is more convenient and effective than modular distance learning. They stated that this modular distance learning increased the percentage of the learning gaps within the grade 1 pupils. Recommendations. There's a lot of changes in the educational system brought by the pandemic, to the point that it is an instance that the highest position of positive executed the modality of modular distance learning and online class. This new normal had an impact not only on the teachers' teaching mechanism. The teachers encountered different challenges and difficulties that results to them to adjust and search for teaching strategies to give an effective education to their pupils. With the teachers' response and recommendations from the interviews, the researchers have come up with the following. Number 1 is strengthen the relationship between parents and teachers. Number 2 is strengthen the internet connection. Number 3, provide teaching material and devices. Number 4, more seminars. Number 5, lessen the activities in the curriculum. And lastly, face-to-face classes. Majority of our participants are eager to have face-to-face classes because they believe that face-to-face classes is more effective than modular distance learning. This is one of the best solutions in the emerging challenges that the grade 1 teachers and to fulfill the learning gap that pupils face in this new normal education in the modality of modular distance learning.